Yes, in age of transition, let me start with the poets first. जो writers हैं उसमें आपके ड्रामा, प्रोज, पोइट्री तीनों ही जनरा इसमें चल रहा है. So let's start with the 18th century literature first, industrial revolution, and वो हमने डिस्कस कर लिया था. जो इसमें क्लब्स और पोइटिक स्कूल्स हैं वो भी मैंने आप लोगों को बता दिए थे. Now let's start with the major poets. फर्स्ट इसमें आ जाएंगे जेम्स थॉमसन 1748 और इनका केवल एक ही पोयम है which is in the which is being counted in the age of sensibility, or you can say which is counted in the age of transition, that is the seasons. 1730 का ये कलेक्शन है इनका which was very early he has written, but यहाँ से age of transition को मार्क किया गया है कि somewhere and somehow there are poets who started writing in this stream even before it has started. So he was the first poet who did that, and the second poet is Edward Young. और इनकी जो poem है which comes or you can say which falls in the same category is Night Thoughts 1742. So these are the two poems which comes under the early stage of transition period. Here already we can see that the poems are written before 1745. People were writing about it. People had this notion of giving away the thought of writing politically or socially. They were into the way of writing naturally, like they want to write about nature, but yes, they were creating a kind of personification and was writing in a way that nature is something which represents the sadness and confusions of human mind. Okay, that is what we call बताओ, that is what we call transition. Okay, these writers are also called as precursors of romanticism. ठीक है, यहाँ पे आप ये चीज लिख सकते हो. These writers are called as precursors of romanticism. Okay, they come before, like much before that. Now, the third writer in the graveyard school of poetry, which we should start now because this is the school which is major schools here, which is one of the major school here in this period, because these graveyard school of poets are the one who are the major one in the transition period, and they are the one who has the biggest group in this age, because others are anti-sentimental writer. They were the group of drama writers. Novel writers are the gothic and fiction. So the categories, or you can say the number of famous writers, are lesser in this age. Now, in the graveyard school of poetry, first I should write Thomas Parnell, and he was also one of the early writer who is famous for his poems, which he has dedicated to the Queen Anne of England. And you can say that he is the first writer of this particular age. And इनके जो work है, which is famous of Thomas Parnell, that is essay on different styles of poetry, ठीक है, and battles of the frogs and mices. ये दो इनके main है. He was a member of Scribblers Club. He was a member of Kit Kat Club. दोनों का ये member रहा है. ठीक है, बेसिकली इसको इसी चीज के लिए रखते हैं. और यहाँ पे इनका जो वर्क मैंने बताया ऐसे ऑन द डिफरेंट स्टाइल्स ऑफ पोइट्री, वो इतना फेमस नहीं है, बट यू कैन राइट एज अ वर्क. नाउ फोर्थ राइटर थॉमस वार्टन, एंड he was also one of the poet laureate before Whitehead. उससे पहले ये थे वहाँ पे. और इनका जो वर्क है दैट इज प्लेजर ऑफ melancholy, which is a famous poem. इसका year अभी मेरे पास नहीं है, so I'm not giving it to you. Next is Thomas Percy, and write down his works. इनका जो works आता है उसमें famous है Relics of Ancient English Poetry, and this got published in 1765. इसमें इन्होंने काफी सारे ऐसे poets की poetries को collect करके publish किया है, which was not recognized on their own time. लाइक इन्होंने काफी सारे ऐसे पोएट्स के मतलब अननोन पोएट्स रहे हैं जिनके इन्होंने नाम उसमें रखे हैं. और ही वाज नॉट द वन हु हैज गिवन रिकॉग्निशन टू देम, बट इन्होंने चेवी चेज एक पोएट था, उनका लिखा है द बैलेड ऑफ चेवी चेज. और इनका ऑटोबर्न काफ़ी फेमस पोयम है, नट ब्राउन मेड काफ़ी फेमस पोयम है, और इन्होंने उसके लिए ही हैज़ टॉक्ड अबाउट द रॉबिन हुड द कैरेक्टर हु वाज फेमस इन द ट्रांजिशन एज, उसके बारे में बात करी है। उसके अलावा ही हैज़ टॉक्ड अबाउट विलियम शेस्टन एंड पर्सी, हेनरी पर्सी इज अ कैरेक्टर देयर। तो इसमें बहुत सारे ऐसे पोइट्स के नाम बताए हैं जो उस टाइम पे फेमस नहीं थे अपने खुद के टाइम पे, और उसने उन सबकी पोइट्रीज के साथ खुद ने भी लिखी हैं। ही कलेक्टेड ऑल द पोइट्रीज एंड गेट इट पब्लिश इन वन कलेक्शन दैट इज एलेक्सिस ऑफ इंग्लिश पोइट्री। इसमें आपको जो दो तीन पोइट्रीज देखनी है, नाम ध्यान रखने हैं, वो मैं लिख रही हूँ। द नट ब्राउन मेड एंड बैलेड ऑफ चेवी चेज, द ड्रैगन ऑफ मॉन्टले, ये तीन पोएम्स के नाम आप ध्यान रखिएगा। इनके ऊपर क्वेश्चन कैन बी द बैटल ऑफ वॉटिंगबर्ग, हाँ ये भी था। नेक्स्ट इज अ वेरी फेमस पोएट थॉमस ग्रे। How many of you have read it as I have given you the homework for this? Have you read it or not? Okay. Now his famous poem is Elegy Written in Country Churchyard. This is what a poem which I should discuss with you. But first, I want to know that whether if you have read it, if you have prepared it, that there is no use of doing a long discussion. But yes, this is a very important poem of Thomas Gray. So, out of all the poetries which I am going to write here, this is very important poem which you need to write because इनकी lines, passage, rhyming scheme, किसी भी चीज के ऊपर question आ जाता है. I'm not getting any answer. Fine. These are the words now. Elegy written in Country Churchyard, 1751. That is a poem in which he has shown that what basically sadness is, what is the sadness which is among nature, what is the sadness which is there in the mind of the residents of England when they used to see the peasants, when they used to see the nature, when they used to see the graveyard, when they used to see the churches. People, the places are full of people, but there is a tiredness, there is a sadness, there is a unsatisfactory things are there in all the faces of everyone. So this has been reflected by this poet in his poetry, Elegy Written on the Country Churchyard. Here he is talking about the people who are already dead and lying in the graveyard, and he said that it's good that you all are that because otherwise if you will see that what is the place England became now, you all will be more sad. So he was sitting near the grave of people whosoever they are. He has not named, but yes, he called his people as Hamlet and other rulers, and he called them that you all are here as ancestors of her, and he took the picture of England as on a wider scenario of world. He said it's not only England, but on a complete scenario of world, I can say that it is not a livable place now. Another thing is Ode on the Death of a Favorite Cat. This is a cat of his best friend, that is Horace Walpole, and that cat died by getting stuck in a that pot which was of goldfishes, right? Aquarium, you can say. It was a pot-like aquarium where the goldfishes were there, and the cat wanted to eat those goldfishes. So the cat put herself into that. It was a she cat. So it got stuck and she died. So he has written a mock elegy, like an elegy, obviously, but it is written in a ode form, and he has written it in a bit of mockery form. So it's a good poem, even in a part of DU, I think. Yes, what I think, but it is a syllabus in DU and even IB. So I suggest you all to go through this poem. It's a very short poem, and there are many lines which can be there in the examination, which were always there, like the what woman's heart love is gold. So that he compared with the cat's greediness for the goldfishes. Now, Ode on a Distant Prospect of Eton College. Eton College is a place where he has taken his complete education, and he has given gratitude toward the college. He has given a memory to the friends and the teachers there. So it was a nice poem which he has written. Just go for the summary of it. Next is the progress of poesy of Pindari Code. It was a bit critical. He has talked about how a poetry should be looked, and these poetries are written in a Pindaric ode. Pindaric odes, if you remember, I have told you in the previous lectures also that Pindaric odes are the kind of poetry which are being written for the celebration. These poetries are written for the purpose of celebration. So here he has celebrated the progress of poetry and drama in English literature. Understood? Any questions? Yes, Tushar. Yes. Yes, he said that death is important and it is good that we die. We are not carrying the baggages forever. Rest. और बताओ और कुछ पूछना है? Anything else? No. Okay, now next question is William Cooper. ठीक है? William Cooper, he is a Anglican writer, obviously English writer है, and he was the one who has started writing in a low voices, you can say. He was the one who started writing in a sadness first, and like some everything he was seeing in a negative way. So it was not basically yes that he is the first writer in that way, but yes, William Cooper is the one who has created something in a way like something is negative, very much sad or disappointing, but there are a chances to get something productive out of it. राइट, तो वो चीज भी इन्होंने यहाँ पे दी कि कुछ चीजें अच्छी हैं, कुछ चीजें बुरी हैं, both are there to make balance. If something is going bad, then obviously something will come up as a positive thing. Okay, तो इनका जो आपको देखना है, that is Olene Himes. He was famous for having a hymns here. Just a minute. He was the one who has started this seeing positivity in negativity. Okay, he is the one that who was giving an assurance to people that yes, there are negativity in the society, yes, there are negative things in the society, but this is also for sure that the things like which are being a factor of destruction, there are positivity in that too. अब ये यहाँ पे इन्होंने ऑलरेडी हाइम्स लिखे हैं, they are religious one, and the most famous work by this writer is John Gilpin. Do read it. He has given the example of positivity or something, because the character John Gilpin is one of the character like Robin Hood. So this is the idea of William Cooper, and he is also famous as a person who can see mockery amongst the sadness. Now, next is Christopher Smart. Sadness. Christopher Smart is the one who was working in a midwife and student magazines, and after some time he was mentally unstable and have been sent by the people, his father-in-law and other family members, to a mental asylum where he was supposed to spend many years, and he did that. And the best of the works of his came up during his stay in the mental asylum. So, what was there? First, see his works. First was his religious work, the Song of David, then the Heliod. And that in that Heliod, he became famous because of Heliod only. You have to remember this, the name of this work, because he has created this work on a mockery of Iliad written by Alexander Pope. Okay, another is Psalms. ये इनके तीन poems हैं जो आपको ध्यान रखने हैं, और ये भी ध्यान रखना है that he is the one who has written everything in the mental asylum. And here comes James McPherson. Let me see if there is yes. In this age, there are lots of writers, but whom you have to read till now is one work is John Gilpin and another is Thomas Gray. There is no other poets till now which you need to remember. Now, James McPherson, the poet is Poems of the Scottish Highlands, Ocean Poems. This is a religious collection. इसमें Chamora and all ये सब आ जाते हैं. That's it. बस नाम ही याद रखना है, इनमें किसी को डिटेल में जाने की जरूरत नहीं है. Robert Blair is a famous name because he is the one whose work was responsible to give this entire group the name Graveyard Poetry, and the work is Grave. Okay, that must be around the same time. Now, William Collins, yes. Hmm. The name of the poem is Graveyard, and he is targeting the graveyard, the graves. And all of them after that was written writing about the dead men, graveyards, churchyards, coffins, morbidity, and deaths, skulls. All the writers have given such kind of pictures. Like in John Gilpin, which I'm asking you to read, he is talking about the parties of the spirits, like bad spirits, devils, in a church, and such kind of thing are being discussed by Elegy Written on Country Churchyard. And all the poets are giving a kind of morbidity, death after life after death, and skulls, bombs, beetles, इन सब की images यूज करी गई हैं, इसलिए इसको ग्रेवयार्ड स्कूल ऑफ पोएट्री. ठीक है. एंड देन विलियम कॉलिंस का जो बेस्ट पोयम है दैट इज ओड ऑन द डेथ ऑफ थॉमसन. ठीक है. दैट इज जो जिन्होंने सीजन्स लिखा था, जेम्स थॉमसन. ये इनका बेस्ट पोयम माना जाता है. दिस इज ऑल्सो एन एलिजी विच इज रिटन इन ओल्ड फॉर्म, and besides that Persian eclogues. These are eclogues. Eclogues means the poems which are written on नेचर. ओके, इनका केवल आप ये दो ध्यान रखेंगे. बाकी इन्होंने शेक्सपियर वगैरह को प्रेज करा है, तो उसको हम नहीं रखेंगे ध्यान में, क्योंकि वो केवल डेडिकेशन है. Thomas Chatterton, he was a very short-lived poet. He died at the age of 19, I think, in 17. Sorry, he died at the age of 17, and he was a very good poet even at the age of 17. But he died out of starvation. He committed suicide because he had nothing to eat, and the critics were targeting him and was giving a bad name for his poetry. He used to write with the pseudonym, and that is, क्या था इसका pseudonym, कोई बता सकता है? Raleigh. तो इसकी जो collection है that is Raleigh poems, which was published much after his death, much years after his death. So that was around 1782. इसका collection किसी और ने publish करवाया था. And he was a very young boy, obviously 17 years, and he started writing at the age of 11 years. He was an orphan kid who was surviving on his own, but because of the critiques of Blackwood and Lockhart, there are two magazines which was famous in the transition age, and the editors of this magazine have targeted him because he was a poor person and he was unable to contribute his poems in the Blackwood magazine and the other one Edinburgh and Blackwood magazines. These are Irish and Scottish magazines. These editors were Scottish people, and they were criticizing the English people for no reasons, and he targeted this younger boy, and he was unable to bear the criticism because such kind of criticism was harmful for him, as no other editorial houses or publications were accepting his poetry. So it was like more than 3-4 days he was starving. It was painful for him, so he drank phenyl and he took his life. Next is Edward Young. I did it, I think. Edward Young कर लिया हमने. हाँ कर लिया ना. Night Thoughts लिखवा दिए मैंने. The Night Thoughts इसका लिखवा दिया है. That's it. These are the major poets of your Graveyard School of Poetry. And now he belongs to the similar period, but he has not written any such kind of poetry, so I should put him into this age. Only these are the 12 writers which you should remember in the Graveyard School of Poetry. Now let's let's do other poets and writers. कि बाकी जो राइटर्स हैं, चाहे उन्होंने ड्रामा लिखा है, फिक्शन लिखा है, कुछ भी लिखा है, बट ऐसा नहीं है कि उन्होंने पोएट्रीज नहीं लिखी है, इसलिए पोएट्स एंड राइटर्स लिख रहे हो. 4 schools of poetry तो आपका हो ही गया था. Now let's come to Dr. Samuel Johnson first. He was a man of critique, editor, biographer, lexicographer, moralist, essayist, इसकी कैटेगरीज बहुत सारी आती हैं, लेकिन जो हमें इनके वर्क ध्यान रखने हैं वो है डिक्शनरी, इंग्लिश डिक्शनरी, देन हिज मैगजीन्स कौन कौन सी हैं, रैम्बलर एंड आइडलर। थर्ड, इनकी जो बायोग्राफीज हैं तो उसमें लाइव्स ऑफ पोएट्स, ठीक है, लाइव्स ऑफ पोएट्स कब लिखना शुरू करा था, बाकी सब इन्होंने जर्नीज पे लिखा है तो वो नहीं देखेंगे हम इनके मेजर वर्क्स के अंदर। लाइव्स ऑफ पोएट्स का बता सकते हैं कितनी लाइव्स है, क्या है। स्टार्टेड राइटिंग इट इनटू 1762 1781, 62 इसलिए लिखा है क्योंकि उसी में इन्होंने लाइव्स लिखनी स्टार्ट की थी, दैट इज अबाउट शेक्सपियर, ठीक है। तो इन्होंने बाद में शेक्सपियर की लाइफ एंड प्रीफेसेस ऑफ द प्ले ऑफ शेक्सपियर एंड प्लेस ऑफ विलियम शेक्सपियर करके इन्होंने अलग कर दिया था और बाकी सारी लाइव्स को अलग रख दिया था। आपको ये पढ़ना है इनका वर्क। देन इनका एक ड्रामा है, पोएट्रीज इनकी जो और है, दैट इज लंदन पोयम, काफी क्रिटिकल है, बहुत अच्छी पोयम है, इसके ऊपर अक्सर क्वेश्चन आता है, ये इनके अर्ली वर्क्स में से आती है, you need to read that. Then and it is also based on the seven satire of Juvenal. It was based on the seven satire of Juvenal, Vanity of Human Wishes, 10th satire of Juvenal. Sorry. Last is the History of Rasselas. That is a play. It is a play which he wanted to write in a best way, but because his mother died and he doesn't have money for the cremation, so he created, or you can say completed this play within 3 days, sold it to a publisher, got the money just for the cremation, just for the you can say funeral of her mother, his mother. He did so, and at that time he realized that the cost of money is worth for him. He doesn't have a handful of money for the funeral of the mother, and after that he married to a lady who was twice elder to his age, and just for the sake of the dowry of 300 pounds something, but he was loyal to her. He established his printing houses, he established his publications, and in 1759 he rewritten this history of Rasselas, Prince of Abyssinia, and published it. And he never married again after the death of that lady, and he grew in a much good way afterwards, because he was handful of the money, the lady was rich enough, and he developed his personality such a critical that people started caring for him. He became famous only for his lives, the critical essays and lives. Okay. Then here comes another writer, that is Oliver Goldsmith. And in Oliver Goldsmith, you need to read his novel Vicar of the Wakefield, which is a Bildungsroman novel. It shows a character building. Vicar of Wakefield is a Bildungsroman novel which you need to read. The Deserted Village is a poem which is about the migration, that people were selling their lands and migrating to the cities or America for in hope of getting their good money and even good life. So he was writing these things in hope of getting good money. Okay. The Good Natured Man is again a work. This is also a prose work which he has written. Sorry, it's a drama which he has written. That is about a priest. Okay, and the last and the most famous work of Oliver Goldsmith is She Stoops to Conquer. That is again he has written in an anti-sentimental way, in which this drama comes under comedy of manners, because here the only purpose is to win the heart of a man for a girl. So she was doing all the hardships to do that, and this is also written in the style of restoration drama. That's why I'm calling it a drama of sentiment and manners. Now here comes another writer, that is Richard Sheridan, and the work by him which you need to read also, that is The Rivals. ये सब dramas इसने लिखे हैं, and these are anti-sentimental drama. These are about Fictitiousness, these are about what I should say, the hollowness, shallowness of the society, artificiality. So this is called the drama. These dramas are called anti-sentimental drama. You need to read The Rivals and a School for Scandal. Okay, The Critique and other drama you can leave, but you need to read these two works by Richard Sheridan. नेक्स्ट राइटर कौन है? रोमियो टैगोर में आपके जर्मन राइटर ये रोमांटिक एडमंड बर्ग इज अदर राइटर्स हैं वो लिखिए एडमंड बर्ग और इनका आपको एक ही वर्क करना है दैट इज अच्छा ही वाज आल्सो अ मेंबर ऑफ पार्लियामेंट was a political person and that is what he has written क्योंकि इनका जो वर्क है that is यहाँ पे सारे के सारे it's all critical work these are all essays okay नॉन फिक्शनल प्रोज जनरा है इनका ये लिख सकते हैं हम बिलोंग्स टू नॉन फिक्शनल प्रोजेस ठीक है और ही यूज टू राइट नॉन इनके बॉक्स हो गया ऑफ इंडिकेशन ऑफ natural society 1756 on sublime and beauty this is the best essay and you this is being created using the ideas of Longinus उसने जो सब्लिमिटी का कॉन्सेप्ट दिया है वही यहाँ पे यूज किया गया है so you need to write that also the non-American taxation क्योंकि here he has discussed the cruelty of English society and the revolution of America इस टाइम पे फ्रीडम नहीं हुई है तो आई एम नॉट सेइंग दैट ओके और ये है इनका एंड नेक्स्ट इज रिवोल्यूशन इन फ्रांस वो हम छोड़ रहे हैं हम केवल अमेरिकन टैक्सेशन तक इनका मेन वर्क जो है दैट इज विंडिकेशन ऑफ नेचुरल सोसाइटी एंड सबलाइम एंड ब्यूटी के ऊपर आपके मोस्टली क्वेश्चन आते हैं यहाँ देन हियर कम्स द अदर राइटर्स ऑफ द एज इसमें यहाँ पे आपके इसमें जो दूसरे राइटर्स आ जाते हैं वो आपके हैं एक तो ये मैरी वॉलस्टोनक्राफ्ट है जो फेमिनिस्ट राइटर आएंगी उनका विंडिकेशन फॉर द राइट्स ऑफ वुमेन एंड विंडिकेशन फॉर द राइट्स ऑफ मैन दोनों वर्क है 1791 इज विंडिकेशन टू द राइट्स ऑफ मैन एंड विंडिकेशन टू द राइट्स ऑफ वुमेन इज 1792 ये दो वर्क आप लिख लीजिए तो उनके एंड नेक्स्ट जो राइटर आपके आएंगे दैट इज इनके हस्बैंड उनका नाम मैरी वॉलस्टोनक्राफ्ट विलियम गॉडविन का जो वर्क आता है दैट इज आल्सो चार्ल्स विलियम हाँ सेलिब विलियम्स द एडवेंचर ऑफ सेलिब विलियम्स केवल ये वर्क इनका देखना बिकॉज ही वाज वन ऑफ द बिगेस्ट पब्लिशर ऑफ दैट एज सो ही वाज फेमस एज अ पब्लिशर विलियम गॉडविन नेक्स्ट राइटर और इनका वर्क लिख लीजिए एडवेंचर्स ऑफ सेलेब CALEB सेलेब विलियम्स ठीक है नाउ नेक्स्ट राइटर इज हॉरेस वॉलपॉल यस अभी वो भी लिखवाऊंगी इनका केवल हॉरेस वॉलपॉल का केवल आपको एक ही वर्क देखना है दैट इज मिस्ट्री ऑफ उडोल्फो सॉरी कैसल ऑफ ऑटरेंटो इनका सॉरी कैसल ऑफ ऑटरेंटो बस ये एक ही वर्क इनका देखना है विच इज अ हॉरर वन देन नेक्स्ट राइटर सिक्स्थ वन योर एन रेडक्लिफ और इनका भी एक ही वर्क देखना है आपको which is about the supernatural elements. कौन सा है इनका work? Udolpho. The Mysteries of Udolpho. Udolpho. This is written in 4 volume. And another work by this writer is a Sicilian Romance. Website है इनका. This is in 2 parts. 1790. ये दो वर्क हैं इनके Mysteries of Udolpho and Sicilian Romance. सिसिलियन रोमांस में अगेन इन्होंने वही डेजर्ट पिक्चर के साथ थोड़ा हॉरिबल चीजें दिखाई हैं रिप्रेजेंट करी हैं एंड इसमें द हीरो इज बायरनिक मीन्स वन हु शोज द दिस अटैचमेंट टू द थिंग्स ही वाज नॉट इमोशनली पर्सन who get you can see emotionally attached to easily more so he belongs to that Byron ने बनाई थी these kind of characters or villains who are trying for many of villains we know about and that is Machiavellian type. So Machiavellian characters are the ones who are unemotional, who know how to take the best usage of things, who know how to utilize their time and money and everything in a best way without anything. So this is how these writers, the characters who are very much materialistic. And Horace Walpole has created a normal character who encountered with something like Otranto Castle of Otranto when he was saving sister's life, the character who was a ghost here. In Anne Radcliffe, there is a character who is a kind who can move on, who is resilient, can move on in his life very easily. Used to get emotional with the females, but for the time being, and doesn't bother to move on with the life. So they understand the value of life here. Another writer is Beckford. William Beckford, and the work by William Beckford is his most gothic novel of the era, which is being called as most gothic novel of the era, is Gothic. Here, the disgusting ideas are here, disgusting incense, murders, raping, involvement of black magic, oracles, sorcerers. ये सारी चीजें यहाँ पे दिखाई है, which is a dirty horror. Movies are there where like the characters are involved in a very different kind of activities. Okay, spirits are raping or something. इस तरीके की चीजें यहाँ पे दिखाई है. इटालियन या यू कैन से अरेबिक कल्चर दिखाया गया है, मुस्लिम और अरेबिक कल्चर दिखाया गया. ठीक है. नेक्स्ट इज मैथ्यू लेविस. After the publication of his work Monk, he was named as Monk Levis because there is no such direct ghost is involved in it, but the people, the living people are behaving like the ghost. And though there are ghosts, there is ghost, people were dying and converting into the ghost. They were fighting for their rights, they were fighting for saving the people they are attached with. This is a love story of a girl where the villains are involved and they want to take the life of the girl, they want to destroy the life of the girl, but the ghosts are saving. So it is written in such a way, but it's very horrible, where the nunneries are being burned, people are killed in a brutal way, and after that people know him only with the name of his work, that is Monk. Okay, yeah, like which period of this period? एक सेकेंड रुको, लेट मी कंप्लीट, देन मैं आपकी क्वेरीज लूंगी. फ्रांसिस बर्ने, और इनके जो वर्क हैं, दीज आर ऑल फेमिनिस्ट वर्क. इन्होंने शी वाज द वन हु डेयर टू राइट अबाउट ओनली द women and their lives. So first work is Evelina, and every of his her novel used to have a subtitle. So all the time when I have found the questions, they are on the subtitle work. Okay, you also need to remember the works, like if it is Evelina, that is the history of a young lady's entrance into the world. It's a longer one. आपको ये सारा कुछ देखना है, कुछ करना है. Then Cecilia, Memory of a Heiress. Next is Camellia, A Picture of Youth, and last is The Wanderer, A Female Difficulties. ठीक है, ये इनके वर्क्स हैं जो आपको करने हैं. दिस इज ऑल अबाउट योर व्हाट आई शुड से ट्रांजिशन एज. ट्रांजिशन एज इज ओवर. ठीक है, ये 11-12 राइटर उस तरफ है, आपके ग्रेवयार्ड पोइट्री के 11-12 राइटर आपके नेक्स्ट है. इन्हें आपको ढंग से करना है, इन्हें आपको ढंग से देखना है. जस्ट डू रिमेंबर दीज नेम्स. और जो मैंने आपको मेजर राइटर्स बताए हैं उनके एक एक दो वर्क है, बहुत ज्यादा नहीं है. मैंने अभी विलियम ब्लेक इसमें नहीं करवाया है, दैट आई वी विल डील इन रोमांटिसिज्म. ओके, क्योंकि उनके मोस्ट ऑफ द वर्क्स जो है वो आपके रोमांटिक पीरियड में आते हैं. पूरी माइथोलॉजी उनकी रोमांटिक पीरियड में आती है. इस एज में केवल उनका दैट इनोसेंस और एक्सपीरियंस का जो सॉन्ग्स ऑफ इनोसेंस एंड एक्सपीरियंस है वो आएगा. बाकी उनकी मैक्सिमम पोइट्री सब 1790s के बाद की है, तो हम उन्हें रोमांटिक पोइट्स में ही काउंट करते हैं, अर्ली रोमांटिक पोइट्स में काउंट करते हैं. I will take William Blake in romanticism. अब आपको आज और कल में ये सारे राइटर्स अपने कंप्लीट करने हैं. इसमें अब जो भी क्वेश्चंस है वो बोलो. जो ये एक एक वक्त बताए हैं बेटा वो सब आपको पढ़ना ही है. हाँ, एक 4 ही तो नॉवल है। कैसल ऑफ ऑटरेंटो, मिस्ट्री ऑफ उडोल्फो, वेथिक एंड मॉन्क। हाँ, फॉल स्टॉप नहीं पता लगा। कोई इसका आंसर देगा? फॉल स्टॉप किसमें है? एनीवन? फर्स्ट? हाँ, फॉल स्टॉप इज अ कैरेक्टर इन टेम्पेस्ट। नहीं, ऐसा तो नहीं हो सकता। क्या ऑप्शन क्या है? बताओ, क्वेश्चन बताओ मुझे। मैरी वाइफ्स ऑफ विंस्टर। हाँ हाँ, हेनरी एट, हेनरी एट में भी है, बिकॉज फॉल स्टॉप का कैरेक्टर, यस, हेनरी एट में भी है, ठीक है। इज अ प्यूरिटन जेस्टर। वी विल डिस्कस इन द क्लास, पहले आप लोग कर लो, और बाकी इनके आंसर्स भी मैं भिजवा दूंगी, कल बोल दूंगी, वो दे देंगे आपको सर, ठीक है। और